Welcome to episode 4 of our 10 Minutes Till video series from Region 10 Education Service Center. I'm Evan Heckman, and with me today is Dr. April Estrada.
If you find yourself in a situation you wish you remembered more about, this is a video for you. Today, we want to equip you with the information necessary to successfully navigate in-class support or co-teach, often referred to as inclusion.
In-class support, or co-teach, are two models of providing inclusion on a campus. Inclusion is not a person or a location. It is a belief system that values diversity and fosters a shared responsibility to help all students grow. Philosophically, this means we do not have one adult saying, "my students," and one adult saying, "your students." Rather, we have a collective responsibility for our students.
Why are we doing this? Why in-class support or co-teach? Why this topic for this video now? All great questions.
The answer can be found as a basis in the law. In order to meet the needs of our students, we must ensure that CFR 300.114A is in place. This addresses the least restrictive environment, and in summary states, students with disabilities are educated to the maximum extent appropriate with their non-disabled peers.
Co-teach and in-class support are not the same. They are each options for delivering services in an inclusive setting. It could look like A, 2 certified teachers in the same classroom for the entire instructional period, B, 2 certified teachers in the same classroom when one is in the room for a portion of the period, or C, 1 certified teacher and 1 paraprofessional in the same classroom for a determined amount of time.
Remember that philosophically we have a collective responsibility. One way to think about this is that while all students are general education, some students receive special education services in addition.
Several myths about who can do what, with whom, when, are floating around out there. So let's take a minute to debunk some of those myths. Myth 1, only a certified teacher can provide services when needed. Myth 2, a special educator can only work with students who receive special education services. Myth 3, we can't provide in-class support or co-teaching because our general educators and our special educators do not have a daily or weekly common planning period.
Let's debunk those myths, starting with scenario number 1. During classroom reteach time, the class forms 2 small groups of students. Under the direction and supervision of a certified teacher and/or teacher team, the paraprofessional provides direct instruction to Group 1, while a certified educator provides instruction to Group 2. In this situation, the paraprofessional does not design the lesson. However, they do provide reteaching of content during this scenario, which happens under the authority of Texas Administrative Code 19 TAC 230.560. Debunking scenario number 2. In a classroom lesson after the presentation of new information, students are working on the guided practice portion of class time. Students raise their hands when they need to ask for help, and both certified educators work answering the questions of students regardless of whether or not they receive special education services. Debunking scenario number 3. A middle school does not have a time every day for Gen Ed and SPED teachers in the same content department to plan collaboratively. Don't worry, if teachers do not share weekly planning time and need to collaborate in a more non-traditional manner, then the campus must consider how to make lesson plans accessible to the special education co-teacher. Adjusting lesson plan due dates and using software that enables teachers to post lesson plans where they can be accessed by both teachers and the administrator are methods to accommodate the planning dilemma.
If our goal is to provide quality instruction to all, if we have a collective responsibility to teach all our students well, then we really need to ask ourselves the following questions. How do we provide quality instruction in our inclusive setting if the second adult in the classroom is not, at a minimum, familiar with the content? And how do we expect the adults in the room to relate to the students they are teaching if they do not have a cursory understanding of who the student is to be able to meet their unique needs?
Thinking about the potential answers to these questions may help you to uncover some possibilities. A good starting point in finding solutions that work for you on your campus may be to consider the following. Are your SPED teachers included in content area professional development from summer through the end of the school year? Are your SPED teachers included as a part of collaboration and lesson planning during the year? Do your Gen Ed teachers have access to and understanding of their students' IEPs, accommodations, and supports? Do they know why those accommodations were chosen? And do they understand how their students' disabilities impact their learning? Answering those questions can help lead you to decisions for impactful change. Facilitating the collaboration between the expert in the content and the expert in the individual disabilities to help understand how they can potentially affect instruction and learning is the end goal of the previous question answering exercise.
Now that you have made decisions that will lead to impactful change, you need to know how to tell if it in fact impactful and effective, or if you have come up with some good ideas without a plan for implementation.
Inclusive instruction can look differently depending upon each individual campus's situation. Let us provide you a couple of examples that are easy to arrange. Alternate or small groups and station teaching are methods of providing instruction and supports to students in an inclusive setting which require minimal face-to-face planning for teachers.
That sounds great, Evan, but how will we know if these things are working in these situations?
The way to know if things are working are by talking to teachers, looking at data collected, and observing classrooms.
Some evidence of effectiveness are when you enter the room, you see two educators actively engage with students. Students are communicating with both adults. Classroom management is shared and supervised by both educators. You don't see one person providing instruction and one person sitting idly by. Once these things are happening on your campus, you know you are headed down the path towards inclusion.
That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We hope this was helpful and hope you will contact us if you need additional information or support. For information on topics such as instructional methods and inclusive strategies, please reference the resources section on our website. And as always, we recommend consulting your district special education director.